You have made it to the May Day virtual concert of the Left Coast Labor Chorus. We will begin in 30 minutes. Hello, you have managed to reach the May Day virtual concert of the Left Coast Labor Chorus. We will begin in 15 minutes. Hello, you have arrived at the May Day virtual concert of the Left Coast Labour Chorus. We will begin in 10 minutes. Hello, You have arrived at the May Day virtual concert of the Left Coast Labour Chorus. We're celebrating May Day in 5 minutes. Hello, you have arrived at the May Day virtual concert of the Left Coast Labour Chorus. Our celebration will begin in 2 minutes. Meanwhile, we'll play some music so that you can adjust your volume. evening, and welcome to the May Day celebration by Vancouver's Left Coast Labour Chorus. I'm Christine Cheveldave, and I'm very pleased to be your host tonight. We acknowledge we are on the unceded territory of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. We haven't done one of our Zoom broadcasts in a while and thought May Day was the perfect occasion to launch our next episode. May Day is both an ancient holiday and since 1889 has served as the international clarion call for workers' rights. Its origins go back to the infamous Haymarket Massacre, a suspicious bombing of a demonstration in Chicago that killed several workers and police officers. Several militant labor leaders were also executed for the crime in a trial that drew intense criticism. But since then, May Day has been marked by progressive trade unionists everywhere, although in North America its flame has been dimmed by the more official Labor Day. It's in the spirit of those workers who fought not only for better wages, but for a better world, one with equality and justice for all who toil. Now, in that same spirit, the chorus humbly offers you a show we can't help but take a little pride in. Tonight, you'll see an animated presentation of why the mice should stop voting for the cats of this world. We'll ask you to join in a union song. Hotel workers will tell how their bosses are now attempting to deunionize. And you'll hear how Solidarity Forever evolved into a tune you can actually dance to. Those are only a few of our offerings tonight, so buckle in, hang on to your hats, and enjoy the ride. That was Vancouver's own Barry Truter playing his original song, Cascade. Thank you, Barry. Now our next performer, New Yorker Professor Louie, is a veteran of the U.S. civil rights struggle in Mississippi and Louisiana. A former college teacher and founding member of Local 1000 of the American Federation of Musicians, he's a dedicated trade unionist with a strong grasp of labor issues. Spoken word is a form of poetry sometimes associated with hip-hop, and its message can be very powerful. With no further explanation, please welcome Professor Louie with his piece, Working Class.
What does it mean to be working class? Is that something from out of the past? Do we always gotta come in last? That's the question I'm gonna ask. What does it mean to be working class? 'Cause today you say you're middle class. You can't pay the doctor, your car needs gas. You're still paying off your college class. What you owe your credit card is never passed. Still you're middle class this and middle class that. Upper lower middle class till you eat your hat, got the gap on your back. You got a little fat. You're still paying for the chair where you just sat. Is it all over just like that? Who stole a good life? Where's it at? Oh, it's middle class. Just a little dream made up for you on your TV screen. Everybody's comfy, or so it seems, and no one ever eats rice and beans. 'Cause in the beginning, there was just two classes. There was the elite, and there was the masses. We did the work. They kicked our asses. Most everything passes. There are still two classes, those who got it and those who don't. We think we're going to get it, but really we won't. Those who own the companies and make the big deals, every deal could cost you a meal. And for real, not too many people hold the power. They make $1 million while while they take a shower. There's the owning class and the working class. Where are you at? Are you slow or fast? All you got to do is do the math. If you got a job, you're working class. If you're out of a job, you're really working class. We build the houses, work the fields, we run the hospitals and fix the meals. We make the family and work at home. Sometimes that's the hardest work of all. We clean the office, we teach the kids. Everything around us is something we did. No matter what your color or your name, no matter the country from where you came, the name of the game is still the same. And if the owner works, is he working class? Got his laptop and smartphone? He's moving fast. It all depends. First and last, if he owns a bodega or a little machine shop, he works for his money, and he works a lot. He might be working for everything he got, but the guy who owns the corporation, he could work all day. It won't change him. He might be a nice guy, he might be a jerk. He makes his big money off of other people's work. You can't make millions going to work and getting paid. You need other people's work to have it made. When we punch the clock, he owns the stock. We do the labor, but he gets the flavor. We make the honey, but he takes the money, because working people make everything. We're the ones make the cash register ring. And when our work goes to someone else's profit, now you got it and you don't got to ask. That's what makes us working class. And if I talk about class just a little more, your TV says we're starting class war, but the real news has come and gone. The class war is always on. It has been here since the day you were born. We just need to know whose side we're on. If we don't know our own class, take it from the poet, we will always take a beating, and we won't even know it, because your TV is programmed by the owning class, your newspaper programmed by the owning class, your search engine programmed by the owning class. When we don't know we're working class, the owning class will kick our ass. They get a real free pass, because you get no health care, get lousy schools. The TV brings your kids up to act like fools. You get no union, you lose your job. You vote for politicians who think you're a slob, because we sometimes forget there's a bottom and a top, those who got it and those who do not. Better to remember, make no mistake, you're not an owner, you're a worker, and that's the breaks. And I bet there's nobody listening here who made $10 million just this year. So before I waste any more breath, before I talk myself to death, let me ask you to act on a fact that has come to pass. Your ass is in the working class. And before we get to another day when we open our mouths with something to say, before you speak and the words are gone, it's good to know whose side you're on and what it means to be working class. Is that something from out of the past? Do we always got to come in last? That's the question we got to ask. What does it mean to be working class? And one last little question before I'm gone. Tell me, whose side are you on?
Thank you, Professor Louie. That certainly answers the question, what does it mean to be working class? Now, our chorus is about to sing for you. We stayed safe by practicing in small pods over the autumn and switched to Zoom in the winter with our wonderful conductor, Peggy Hua. We then recorded ourselves in our own homes, and by technical wizardry, we are all now singing together. Church tunes have often served as the underpinnings of many a fine labor song, and the industrial workers of the world were noted for this, particularly through the lyrics of World War I activist Joe Hill, who is mentioned in this song. In this next song, the hymn tune, Just Over the Glory Land, it becomes an invitation to join the labor movement with new lyrics written by Paul McKenna of the Service Employees International Union in Eugene, Oregon. Here is the Left Coast Labor Chorus with Join Us in a Union Song.
Come and raise your voice in a union song. Join us in a union song. Let the words ring out, sing it clear and strong. Join us in a union song. Come join us in a union song. A melody that makes us strong. Join us in a union song. Come join us in a union office buildings to the mills and mines. Join us in a union song. At the Union Hall or on the picket line. Join us in a union song. Come join us in a union song. A melody that makes us strong. Join us in a union song. Come join us in a union song. Let everybody sing along. Join us in a union song. Sing with Woody Guthrie and old Joe Hill. Join us in a union song. They have long since left us, but their songs live still. Join us in a union song. Come join us in a union song. A melody that makes us strong. Join us in a union song. Come join us in a union song. Let everybody sing along. Join us in a union song. Come and raise your voice in a union song. Join us in a union song. And a great tradition we will carry on. Join us in a union song. Come join us in a union song. A melody that makes us strong. Join us in a union song. Come join us in a union song. Let everybody sing along. Join us in a union song.
Thank you to Cameron Galinsky for mixing all those voices together and making us sound so good. And to Josh Burson for those wonderful photographic images. Now, many of you will know of Mouseland, a political fable attached to Canada's Tommy Douglas, although he wasn't the originator. Douglas at the time was the leader of the Saskatchewan branch of the socially democratic CCF Party, and he told the tale while he was stumping in the province's 1944 election. Mouseland is an allegory on Canadian working people as mice who vote for either two big business parties, the cats in the Progressive Conservative or the cats in the Liberal parties. And the speech appears to have done its job as the CCF swept into power in the game-changing 1944 election. In more recent times, this story has been rendered into a comic and has been animated. So that's what we have for you tonight. Enjoy Mouseland.
It's a story of a place called Mouseland. Mouseland was a place where all the little mice lived and played and were born and died. And they lived much as you and I do. They even had a parliament. And every 4 years they had an election. They used to walk to the polls and cast their ballots. Some of them even got a ride to the polls. Got a ride for the next 4 years afterwards, too. Just like you and me. And every time on election day, all the little mice used to go to the ballot box and they used to elect a government. A government made up of big, fat, black cats. Now, if you think it's strange that mice should elect a government made up of cats, you just look at the history of Canada for the last 90 years, and maybe you'll see that they weren't any stupider than we are. Now, I'm not saying anything against the cats. They were nice fellows. They conducted the government with dignity. They passed good laws. That is, laws that were good for cats. But the laws that were good for cats weren't very good for mice. One of the laws said that mouse holes had to be big enough so a cat could get his paw in. Another law said that mice could only travel at certain speeds so that a cat could get his breakfast without too much physical effort. All the laws were good laws for cats, but all they were hard on the mice. And life was getting harder and harder. When the mice couldn't put up with it anymore, they decided something had to be done about it. So they went en masse to the polls. They voted the black cats out. They put in the white cats. The white cats had put up a terrific campaign. They said all that Mouseland needs is more vision. They said the trouble with Mouseland is those round mouse holes we've got. If you put us in, we'll establish square mouse holes. And they did. And the square mouse holes were twice as big as the round mouse hole. And now the cat would get both his paws in. And life was tougher than ever. And when they couldn't take that anymore, they voted the white cats out and put the black ones in again. And then they went back to the white cats and then to the black cats. They even tried half black cats and half white cats. And they called that coalition. They even got one government made up of cats with spots on them. They were cats that tried to make a noise like a mouse, but they ate like a cat. You see, my friends, the trouble wasn't with the color of the cats. The trouble was that they were cats. And because they were cats, they naturally looked after cats instead of mice. Presently, there came along one little mouse who had an idea. My friends, watch out for the little fellow with an idea. And he said to the other mice, look, fellas, why do we keep on electing a government made up of cats? Why don't we elect a government made up of mice? Oh, they said he's a Bolshevik. So they put him in jail. But I want to remind you that you can lock up a mouse or a man, but you can't lock up an idea.
Thank you to the Douglas Caldwell Foundation for that production. My own favorite Tommy Douglas quote is, Have courage. You can still build a better world. Now, the Left Coast Labor Chorus exists because its members believe that protesting through song is an important part of democracy. So in 2018, the chorus held a song contest, spearheaded by Sean Griffin, and with cash prizes for new labor compositions. First prize was won by this Vancouver singer-songwriter. Here is Lindsay Wills, 9:30 at the Factory.
She gets on the number 22 and takes in a rainy city view. Sits on a bench when she gets to her stop, waves to the fellows at the auto shop. "9:30 at the factory." She unlocks the door with the company key, turns on the oven and cranks up the tunes, gets out the bowls and the wooden spoons at the factory. Abigail likes to sing and dance, lets her thoughts turn to love and romance. While she's mixing up the batter, she thinks of things that really matter. "9:30 at the factory." She unlocks the door with the company key, turns on the oven and cranks up the tunes, gets out the bowls and the wooden spoons at the factory. While she's baking her croissants, she thinks about what she really wants, takes in the smell of macaroons and cakes. She's as sweet as a pastry she bakes. 5:30 comes and her work's done. She's tired but she's had a little fun. Wipes the counters and then she locks the door. She'll be back in the morning to bake some more. "9:30 at the factory." She unlocks the door with the company key, turns on the oven and cranks up the tunes, gets out the bowls and the wooden spoons at the factory. She's at the factory. At the factory.
Thank you, Lindsay. We're certainly looking forward to new compositions in the future. Now I'm going to start the next section with a quote. "We have plowed and we have planted, we have gathered into barns, done the same work as men with babies in our arms." Those are powerful words by 19th century women's rights activist Sojourner Truth, which describe how women over the centuries have stood side by side working with men and yet rarely get a mention in most history books. This song by Bev Grant, an American activist and singer-songwriter, is a celebration of the contributions and labor victories by women everywhere. And yet we ask, where are their stories recorded? The Vancouver group, The Resistors, has brought this brilliant song to many conferences and events, and now to the Left Coast Labor Chorus. The working class lyrics were changed to Canadian, and special thanks to chorus member Dan Keaton for the last verse. Here is "We Were There" by Bev Grant.
We have plowed and we have planted, we have gathered into barns, done the same work as the men, with babies in our arms. But you won't find our stories in most history books you read. We were there, we're still here fighting for the things we need. We were there in the factories, we were there in the mills, we were there in the mines and came home to fix the meals. We were there on the picket line, we raised our voices loud. It makes me proud just knowing we were there. From the textile mills in Montreal to the sweatshops of Old York, from the fields around Niagara where our children had to work, we fought to make a living. Bread and roses was our bride. Though they jailed and beat our bodies, our spirits never died. We were there in the factories, we were there in the mills, we were there in the mines and came home to fix the meals. We were there on the picket line, we raised our voices loud. It makes me proud just knowing we were there. We were Polish and First Nations, we were Irish and Hindu, Punjabi, Filipino, Chinese and Russian too. They tried to use our differences to split us all apart, but the pain we felt together touched the bottom of our hearts. We were there in the factories, we were there in the mills, we were there in the mines and came home to fix the meals. We were there on the picket line, we raised our voices loud. It makes me proud just knowing we were there. We are teachers, we are doctors, we are cooks and engineers, letter carriers, truck drivers, technicians and cashiers. We operate machinery, we pilot the airplanes, we help to build our unions, we got struggle in our veins. We were there in the factories, we were there in the mills, we were there in the mines and came home to fix the meals. We were there on the picket line, we raised our voices loud. It makes me proud just knowing we were there. For years our angry voices have echoed through their halls. Through strikes and occupations, we have broken down some walls. To you whose time's arriving, we pass along the flame. And when you mark your victories, your words will be the same. We were there in the factories, we were there in the mills, we were there in the mines and came home to fix the meals. We were there on the picket line, we raised our voices loud. It makes me proud just knowing we were there. It makes me proud just knowing we were there.
Well, thank you to Bev for supplying us with that song. Now, that's only one of Bev's wonderful songs. Also, another shout out to Josh Burson for some of the images we used today. Now, by last September, due to COVID, most of BC's 52,000 hotel workers had been laid off, casualties of the pandemic. Unite Here, a union representing some of those workers, has staged many events to demand a law that would ensure those workers are the first to be called back when hotels reopen. Well, now those hotels are reopening, and some of those workers have a different story to tell. Here is one. Our own chorus member Dee Whalen conducts an interview with a worker. Dee was a union negotiator for the BCGEU and now volunteers in areas of social justice. well acquainted with the working world. Over to you, Dee.
Greetings, everybody. Last week, the Metrotown Hilton fired and then locked out all 97 of their workers. This includes room attendants, front desk agents, laundry attendants, kitchen staff, and other hourly workers. Rather than negotiate enhanced job security during the COVID crisis and bring their workers back when jobs become available, this employer decided to terminate everyone, many who have been with this employer for many, many years. But however, other hotel employers, such as the Rosewood Hotel Georgia, Hyatt Regency, the Westin Bayshore, and the Pinnacle Harborfront, they've all committed to retain long-term staff during this crisis rather than fire them. Congratulations to Unite Here, Local 40, for negotiating these terms with their members. These are tough, but they're reasonable employers. On the other hand, we have Metrotown Hilton, and let's be clear, this is a lockout, not a strike. I'm here tonight to talk to one of the Metrotown Hilton workers. I wanted to show you what I'm wearing. Yay! Hotel workers! I'm here tonight to welcome Jaswinder Bazzi, and thanks, Jaswinder, for speaking to us.
Hi, my name Jaswinder Basi. I'll be working Hilton Hotel, Metrotown Wannabe. I'll be starting 2006 until now, 15 years ago. I'll be room attendant. I'll be very hardworking. I'll be passing a message for everybody. Please support us and don't give the business for Hilton, whatever. He no call us back.
How is it affecting you and your coworkers?
Yes, it's effect for me and my family because it's stress for pandemic, stress for family, stress for work. It's my husband is really, really sick. He have brain tumor. He have 3 times surgery. It's very hard for us for the payment, mortgage, and electricity. And you guys know for like everything's so expensive right now. So I like my seniority is very high right now because I'm working 15 years ago. So I know.
I'm so sorry to hear about your husband and his health. It must be really, really difficult.
So it's locked out with like pensions, his wages.
How does it feel when you've got an employer that wants to replace you with cheaper labor?
At least the now pay is high because it's 2058 right now. The people don't like to hard work there. They only 1 week working there. They left out. They said it is very hard.
Right on. It's very hard work and it's physical. You're up and down all the time. And here's the employer that's expecting to pay minimum wage for work like that. It's skilled work and it takes training, right?
Yeah.
Do it properly and to make sure that everything is clean, especially with COVID, right?
Yes.
What else can union activists and supporters do to help the cause?
Don't give the business until they know recall to us. I know all the people is come and support us, give the water, juice, candies, wars, and then donors. They all like 1 or 2 hours spent with us. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. Well, I think the Left Coast Labor Corps is probably going to come out and support you guys again. Thanks so much, Jaswinder. This was really enlightening, and I appreciate you taking your time with us.
No problem.
So I just wanted to conclude by saying this is a temporary crisis here, COVID. It's going to be over. But here is what Metrotown Hilton wants to do. They want to eliminate forever living wage jobs that are really mostly filled by women and a lot of racialized populations that do this work. And they're telling them that you're supposed to be bearing the brunt of this pandemic, not the employer. It's really not fair. We think that they're taking women hostage and trying to impose these permanent changes during a pandemic. And please know that you certainly have our support and the support of the whole audience that is here, that our chorus is going to be coming out and helping you. I'm sure we'll be doing that. We have our strike team that comes out and our lockout team that will come out and support you with song. There is a petition. If folks want to go to the Unite Here Local 40 website, you will find a petition that is called BC's Unequal Women. Please join us all in standing up for the women workers at the Metrotown Hilton, and let's make lives better for everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today, Jaswinder Bazi.
Thank you. Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you very much to Dee and Jaswinder Bazi for those words. Now, when Ralph Chaplin lay on his living room floor, reportedly, back in 1915, to pen the lyrics for what has become the most famous labor anthem, Solidarity Forever, he undoubtedly never envisioned this version, a kind of blues shuffle. Rockin' Solidarity was arranged by Dave Welsh and originally performed by San Francisco's Rockin' Solidarity Labor Heritage Chorus. Here's the song performed by the Left Coast Labor Chorus.
When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. For what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? Because the union, the union makes us strong, makes us strong. We're talking solidarity, guaranteed for us. We're singing about solidarity, solidarity, guaranteed for us. We're gonna shout solidarity, solidarity, guaranteed for us forever. Because the union, the union makes us strong, makes us strong. We're the women of the union at the forefront of the fight. And we know about women's issues, and we know about women's rights. We're prepared to fight for freedom, and we always stood our ground. Because the union, the union makes us strong, makes us strong. We're talking solidarity, guaranteed for us. We're singing about solidarity, solidarity, guaranteed for us. We're gonna shout solidarity, solidarity, guaranteed for us forever. Because the union, the union makes us strong, makes us strong. In our hands is placed the power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies, magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old. Because the union, the union makes us strong, makes us strong. We're talking solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever. Because the union, the union makes us strong, makes us strong. Because the union, the union makes us strong, makes us strong. Because the union, the union makes us strong.
Well, that was certainly an enthusiastic rendition of Rocking Solidarity. And I hope you enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed singing it. Now, this has been a presentation of the Vancouver Left Coast Labor Chorus, and many thanks to all of our participating artists and interviews, and to all of you for attending. Please visit our website for more information on our chorus activities. Now, it's my pleasure to invite all of you to join us on Zoom for a tailgate party or after show party. We're going to chat and share ideas and generally have a good time. Now, below the YouTube screen, there is a description. In that description will be a link to take you to the Zoom party named Tailgate Party Link. If you click on the link, you should find us. However, if your YouTube screen is maximized and you don't see that description, go to your keyboard and press Escape, which will reduce the size of your YouTube, and then you should see the description below. In the description, click on the Tailgate link and you'll join us all. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye for now.